Hi, my name is Gloria Baraquio, and welcome to Heart Alchemy Yoga. We are at the Springs today in downtown LA, and we're so happy you joined us. This is going to be a 30-minute beginner's yoga, really designed for people who have never been to a yoga class, people who are brand new or maybe just don't want to go to class. They want to practice in the privacy of their own home with nice friends. And this is my friend Meredith. This is Rachel, and this is Sabrina. And today we're just going to start by going over some basic questions that beginners might have about the practice, and then we'll move into some basic poses. So I think I'll start with maybe Sabrina's question, and then we'll move around the room. So, Sabrina? Mm-hmm. Great, thank you, and we'll get to that. And Meredith? We'll definitely get to that. That's a really common thing. One of my first teachers always told me that if you're not breathing, it's not yoga. So really today is about finding basic building blocks for your practice and how you're going to strengthen your practice over time by learning fundamentals of the yoga. Rachel. That's a great question for not just beginners, but especially people who like to push themselves. A lot of Americans who work really hard in everything that they do, and maybe very competitive types of people. Yoga, you can injure yourself in the practice. So what we recommend, I'll start with your question. What we recommend in this practice is really learning to listen to your body. You can learn to listen to your body through deep breathing, and we'll get through that. And when you're in a pose, you want to feel the strength of it, and you want to feel a point where we call the healthy edge, where you are challenging yourself, but you're not straining yourself. And you'll notice over time where there's more tension in the body when you're trying too hard. You're trying in the pose, you're really trying to do the pose, but you're not actually being the pose or being in the yoga. So over time, you'll learn a little bit more and more. So, and then as far as foot placement goes, we will discuss that in our standing poses, because it does make a difference in how our hips open and how our breath moves by certain alignment. So, you ladies ready? All right. So today, we're going to start in a seated position. Some of us have a hard time sitting on the ground, so what we like to do for those people is add a prop, a bolster. So Sabrina's sitting up, and that helps to relieve the hips a little bit. So when you're ready, we'll start with our breath, and just to warm up a lot of the body and the hips, we'll start with Sufi circles. And we move from the base of the spine or the pit of the belly. And one way to think about it is the spine is a wooden spoon, and the pelvis is like a pot, and the spoon is stirring that pot. And you're always welcome to close your eyes. It helps you to get a little bit deeper into your breath, into the practice. You can start to feel, oh, where am I holding tension? Or it's a lot in my hips or my lower back today. Even just these simple circles can start to wake up the fluid in the rib cage, the shoulders, the elbows. And when you're doing this, you want to inhale on the way forward, exhale on the way back. You can pick a direction to start with. Good. And just stay here for maybe about anywhere from 1 to 2 minutes on your own. If you were ever doing this with friends or without a video, you want to try to do this in one direction for about 2 minutes. It's a great way to really start to tune into your breath. think with many of us in our lives, we forget to breathe, or some of us were never taught to breathe. So in our practice, we actually want to start to hear our breath. So I can actually hear Meredith next to me, and that's kind of what is going to be expected to you if you ever do decide to go to a class, in a flow class. You're going to want to really hear that breath. Good. And then whenever you're ready, you're going to slowly reverse the direction. And again, if you close your eyes, you can roll your eyeballs to the third eye point. That helps to bring a little bit more relaxation as well as concentration in the mind. Good. You can go deeper in those circles. And again, this is just a way to warm up the synovial fluid in the body. It's relatively simple, but it does so much. Again, inhaling on the way forward, exhaling on the way back. And for many of us who come to yoga, we are looking for a little stress relief, a little bit of quiet, some time for ourselves, some time to regroup, and maybe listen to ourselves a little bit more. So let's use that time, use this time for that. Good, we can feel this in the back, elbows, hips, wrists, shoulders, heart, even in the neck. Good. And when you're ready, big inhale, come to center. You want to lift that breath up all the way. Good. Lift it up from the base of the spine, through the heart, through the neck, all the way through the crown of your head. Keep inhaling, inhaling, inhaling. And exhale. Good. Again, so for the beginners, we're just learning how to breathe, right? So the next thing, let's cross our legs the other way. Maybe if your right foot is in front, let's take the left foot in front. Your choice, your hands can either stay on your thighs or bring your hands on your shins. And we call this spinal flexion. It's basically inhaling, open the heart, and exhaling, just rounding back. And we'll inhale again, exhale. So ultimately, you want to be rocking along the sit bones, those bones upon which you sit, right? It's the base of the pelvis. Almost like a rocking chair. That way you're getting your whole spine involved. This is what this is for. It's waking up our spinal fluid, which is where so much of our life force is, really. We'll inhale, open, exhale, close, right? Inhale, open, exhale, close. Good. And then if today you're feeling a little stiff, slow it down and just really feel into that. Yeah. Just make sure you're moving with breath. So if you're new to the practice and you've ever seen the word vinyasa, the word vinyasa means to link your breath with movement. Right? So this is essentially what we're doing. Is inhaling into one, exhaling into the next. Inhale into one, exhale into the next. It's so fun to practice with friends. I hope you're practicing with friends at home right now. But to really hear each other's breath really powers up your own practice. Good, and you can move faster if you're ready for that, if you feel a little bit more flexible there. It's also a great time to assess where you're feeling tightness or where there's tension. Some people really hold it in their heart area. Some people really have pain in their shoulders, definitely in their neck, or maybe deep pain in the lower back, right? So always a reminder, if something doesn't feel right, please stop, modify, or don't do it, right? We're really learning to listen to our body here. Good, just a few more. This is a great one to do again for 2 to 5 minutes, right? And when we finish here, we're going to take a deep inhale, hold it, lift the breath all the way through the spine. So from the base of the spine all the way through the crown of the head. Keep inhaling, inhaling. You're lifting even more. Exhale. Wonderful. So to answer Meredith's question about breathing, mostly in a vinyasa class, you're going to do the ujjayi breath. So we're going to practice that today. And ujjayi breath has been known either as the breath of the ocean, or what I called it when I first practiced was the Darth Vader breath. So if you can hear me, this is kind of how it sounds. And everyone in this room can hear it, right? So my teachers would actually teach me, if we were practicing vinyasa, we should be hearing the people next to us or everyone in the room. Everyone in the room should be creating this current of energy or prana for the practice. So one way we are taught it in the beginning, if we're not used to that, is imagine you have a mirror. Everyone hold up their mirror. And we're going to fog the mirror. It's like 5-6 inches from you. So let's practice that. We're going to go inhaling and yeah, open the mouth. Beautiful. So again, do it again. Imagine you're literally fogging the mirror. Let's hear it. Inhale. Good. So that sound, it sounds like the ocean. Lovely ladies. I love you all. Is that they're actually constricting the glottis in the back of the throat. And so let's try it one more time so we can hear it and you can do it yourself. Beautiful. Now to take it to the next level for the true ujjayi in a practice is you'll close your mouth, but it's the same. So you can rest your hands and inhaling through the nostrils, exhaling through the nostrils. Beautiful. Let's just create a symphony here. Inhaling through the nostrils. Exhaling through the nostrils. Good. One more time. Inhale through the nostrils. Exhale through the nostrils. Good. So some beginners ask, well, can I exhale through the mouth? You can always exhale through the mouth. However, in ujjayi, the way that we're taught is that we're really maintaining our prana or our energy for the practice, creating internal fire. There's more consciousness, there's more work to keep that breath contained if we're just inhaling and exhaling through the nostrils. And don't take my word for it. You can just practice it and just notice how it feels when you exhale through the mouth versus exhaling through the nostrils. So over time you'll learn. So let's get to it. So that was a little bit of warm up, and I would say that that's really the basis of the yoga, is really coming into your breath. So now we know our breath a little bit more. We're going to actually come into our first pose of the day, which is a down dog. So we'll plant our hands about shoulder width apart. You want to really get into the habit of getting your wrists under your shoulders, or getting your hands shoulder width in many of our poses. And whenever you're ready, you'll roll the toes, you'll inhale here, you'll exhale, draw the heels towards the floor as you pick up your knees. Good. And then let's really feel into our ujjayi breath here. Good. Good. And so for our feet, they're about hip width apart. And so for Meredith, I might ask her to just take her feet slightly wider. Yeah. And the heels don't actually have to touch the ground here. But there is an energetic thing, right, where the heels are reaching for the ground. Also, if I were to adjust Meredith, I would actually take her hips a little bit more towards me to help lengthen the spine. Good. So you might expect getting an adjustment in a real yoga studio class. If you ever don't want an adjustment, please tell your teacher, please don't touch me. But I think Meredith's okay. We're friends. Yeah. So our ladies are really staying in ujjayi breath. So one way is to really activate the hands, spreading those fingers, pressing into the thumb and the pointer. Really, it's kind of basic stuff that you want to build good habits around so that when you continue to practice, you're really developing an internal strength and good habits to take with you in more complicated poses. Good. And we're breathing, ujjayi. Good. So this is your down dog. Many of you have seen it. Good. And this can be a lot on the calves. It can be a lot on your shoulders. So this is a long time to hold it, but it's a great way to really get to know the pose. So everyone can now come to their hands and their knees and just rest in child's pose. I want to teach all of you beginners child's pose. This will be one of your best friends when you're new or in a hard class. You can basically just sit down onto your heels and reach your hands straight ahead. This is a great resting pose. And some people love this adjust. I know I love it. Where you just get a little bit of a massage in the lower back and a little bit of softness in the hips. Good. So anytime you're in a studio class or anytime you're even at home and you're doing some hard poses, maybe you lost your breath, maybe you're doing too many arm balances, come back into child's pose. Good. You always want to rest there for maybe 5 to many breaths. All right, ladies, so we're going to come back to down dog, and then we're going to transition to standing. So you're going to just slowly walk your feet to your hands. Let's exhale, forward fold. Good. If the forward fold is too much, you can bend your knees. Good. And then we're just going to slowly roll up. So one vertebra at a time. We're going to come up. Let your head come up last. Good. And now we're standing. So this is Tadasana or mountain pose. So it helps to bring your big toes touching, heels slightly apart. And we really want to open up our heart. And we want to lengthen our spine. And we can practice turning our palms face forward. It's a very active pose. Beautiful. So it's not just standing. It's very much at attention. It's very prepared and ready. Yeah, and from here you can also start to feel the balance between left and right side of the body. You want to start to pay attention to your navel and maybe bringing your navel towards your spine. It'll bring more strength to your practice, also known as the Uddiyana Bandha. Beautiful. And our feet are really rooting into the earth. And our head is lengthening towards the sky, right? So always opposing forces. Right? That's also the meaning of hatha, if you've ever heard the word hatha, yoga. Ha means sun, tha refers to the moon. And so these opposing energies of north, south, east, west, yin, yang, masculine, feminine, left, right, up, down, right? Really finding the fullest expression. Good. I'm going to take you to a classical sun salutation. So whenever you're ready, inhaling, arms up. Moving with ujjayi breath, right? Exhaling, we're going to forward fold. Bend your knees if you need to. You don't have to touch the floor. Sabrina can also use her block if you need a modification. Good. When you're ready, inhale, half lift. Maybe you can put your hands on your shins here, or you can plant your hands now, and then just step your right leg back. We're going to come onto the right knee. Some of us will stay here. You'll feel the lunge already. The inner thighs opening, the groins, the hips. Some of you can take it to another level. Maybe you'll take your hands here. Maybe you'll take your arms up. And then you'll gaze up at the hands. Good. And just feel this stretch. Again, take your navel towards your spine. We'll exhale, plant the hands, and we'll step that left leg back. So 8-point pose, get your knees down, get your chin down, chest down, and then we're going to crawl through, slither through, just like we're going under a fence. Elbows in, open heart, cobra. Good. Exhale, down dog. Beautiful. So let's find ujjayi breath if we lost it. Good. Spreading those fingers. Feet are hip width apart. Good. And then whenever you're ready, you'll inhale, right foot front between the two hands. Drop the left knee down this time. Good. Find your modification. You can always stay here, or you can take your hands to your knee, opening the heart, or maybe take the arms up. Make sure the shoulders drop away from the ears. Good, and breathing. Good. And when you're ready, exhale, take the hands down, float the left foot front. Good. Exhale, forward fold, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Good, inhaling, arms up. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Close the eyes for a second and just notice how that sun salutation just opened up the left and the right side of the body, opened up the hips, opened up the spine. We're going to do it one more time. When you're ready, inhaling, open the eyes, arms up, gaze up at the hands. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, step right leg back. Drop the knee down. Maybe you inhale the arms up, or you just lengthen the spine, open the heart. Good. Exhale, hands down, step the left foot back. Knees, chin, chest to the ground, elbows close to you, slither through like a snake, cobra. Good. So the heart is open, shoulders are back, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, down dog. Good. Breathing, ujjayi. Mouth is closed. Stay here for a few. Good, and if you're ever practicing just on your own, without the video, without a teacher, you can always hold these poses for as long as your body wants to stay in them, till it feels right. Good. Let's inhale, right foot between the two hands, drop the left knee. Maybe keep the hands on the ground, maybe bring the hands to the knee, or arms up. Good. When you're ready, exhale, hands down, float the left foot front. Exhale, forward folding. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, hands to the heart. Good. Close the eyes and just recenter, regroup again. Good. So when you're ready, open the eyes. We're going to step the left foot far back here. I'm going to teach you a pretty common basic pose that's very strong. We're going to come into warrior two. So it's a pretty wide stance. And let's start with our hands on our hips. We're going to exhale, bend that right knee. So to address Sabrina's question in this one, the right heel is in line with the left arch. The left foot is fairly parallel to the edge of your mat. The right foot is definitely pointing to the front of the room. That really will help to guide the opening of your hips. And just a slight adjustment, if you want, you can even reach your right knee a little bit more towards your right pinky toe. Then from here, we can float our arms up. Right? So it's very common in a warrior pose to really strain to the right side or strain to that front leg, but you really want to stay grounded and centered. Yeah, shoulders directly over the hips, long spine. And you can even get more active or stronger by activating the feet. So really root the outer left foot. You can feel that left ankle opening. If you want, practice lifting your toes. Yeah. A little bit more strength. And again, if you need to modify in this pose, you just don't have to go so deep in that front leg, or you don't have to go so deep in the stance. Good. This is your Warrior 2 or Virabhadrasana B. The benefits of this are, really strengthening your legs, strengthening your core, strengthening your arms. Good. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to straighten that right leg. Good. Let's shorten that stance a little bit. We're going to slowly move to Trikonasana, or triangle pose. Let's reach for the front wall. And then when you're ready, you're going to place your hand on your shin if you don't have a block. Sabrina can actually use her block. So if you have a block, that's very helpful in Trikonasana. So as you can see in this pose, it's almost like getting your arms, torso, legs in the same plane. So I might, to adjust her, get a little bit deeper. Press her into one plane of being. Beautiful. And we're still using ujjayi breath. And then with the strength of the core, or the bandha, inhaling up to center. Good. Good, let's turn right foot in, turn left foot out. So same thing, different side. Let's go wider in our stance, and then come into Warrior 2. Good, we'll float the arms up when you're ready. If you want to start with your hands on your hips to feel the shoulders over the hips. Right? So there's a difference here, right? Instead of really reaching here, get really centered here. Right? Instead of really trying so hard in the arms, soften into the shoulders, but feel strength in the arms. Beautiful. Yeah, and to really open those hips even more, draw that left knee a little bit more towards the left pinky toe. Beautiful, ladies. And that strong ujjayi breath. If you want, lift your toes. Yeah. Awesome. And then whenever you're ready, inhaling, come up to center, straighten that leg. Shorten the stance just a little bit. Left heel in line with right arch. Again, left foot points to the back wall. Right foot is fairly parallel to the edge of your mat. Then reach for the back wall. Then windmill your arms down. Left hand down, right hand up. If you can, you're going to make sure that wrist is directly over the shoulder. That just helps the energy flow. Right? Because really so much of this practice is getting all our juices flowing in a good way so we can feel happy and healthy. Right? The way I see it is, it's like traffic. We're in LA, traffic on the 405. We don't want that in our bodies. We don't want blockage, right? We just want fluidity. And so that's why we focus on alignment. Good, and breathing. Alignment and breath. So breath is what wants to move through those highways in your body. Right? We get the right oxygen to our blood, our cells. We feel better. Good. One more deep breath. Use your bandha. Inhale up to standing. Good. And turn that left foot in. And let's just step to the front of our mat. Good. And we'll just do a simple standing balance pose before we move back to the ground. And we'll stand on the left foot. And let's take that right foot either to the inner thigh. If that's not feeling good for you today, you can actually take your foot to the inner calf. But you do want your hips open. So draw your right knee a little bit more towards the back wall, in line with your hips. Good. And you're welcome to either start in prayer. And definitely if you need a wall, please go by a wall. Or I like to maybe share with a friend if we need some help. Yeah. Get some support here. Yeah. Good. And if you want, take your arms up to the sky. Good. And when you're ready, bring the hands back down to the heart and then release. Good. Switching sides. What you do to one side, you do to the other. Again, this is called the tree pose or vrikshasana. So if you're new to the class or new to yoga, you'll notice that so many of the poses end with asana. Asana means posture, pose, or seat. Good, we'll take the arms up. So this is obviously a balancing pose, us really getting to know our core, our center. Definitely strengthen the legs, balancing our brain, finding concentration. Good, bring the hands back to the heart. And then slowly release. Good. Let's inhale up. Let's exhale down, forward fold. Good, bend your knees if you need to. Inhale, look up. Exhale, walk to a down dog. Good. And then slowly take your time. Come to a seated position. And let's take our legs straight in front of us. So just a basic seated pose that we should do probably every day is Paschimottanasana, seated forward bend. So when you're ready, reach a little bit forward. I really want you to hinge from your hips. So, as a beginner, what tends to happen is we kind of do this, right? We're really kind of bending from our upper back. But what we really want to try to do is lengthen from the lower back so we really get our hamstrings in it. So I'd rather for beginners to just stay here. And then definitely if you have a strap, really work with the strap. So Sabrina will show us how to use the strap, modifications. And again, most importantly, we're staying with the breath. So the breath is what's going to keep us in a very equal, balanced state. Right? And ultimately, this yoga is just a practice on the mat that we take into our lives, right? How can we still breathe in uncomfortable situations, in hard situations? How can we breathe when we're impatient and angry, upset, annoyed? Maybe we get so good at breathing that those feelings maybe are slower to arise in us. Good. Breathe a little bit deeper. Let's exhale. Good. You notice that your exhale will allow your body to open a little bit more. Yeah. You'll just notice that as you practice. So you can inhale and then go a little bit deeper in your pose. Good. All right, ladies, take your time. We're going to finish our 30-minute practice. So let's get on our backs. This is many people's favorite pose. You've probably seen the t-shirt. I'd rather be in Shavasana. This is Shavasana. It's the corpse pose. It's almost like you are a corpse, right? deep, deep rest. So we'll close our eyes, we'll soften our foreheads. It's nice to take your feet a little bit wider than hips. I might come and just really loosen up their hips and melt a little bit deeper here. Definitely want to start and make sure the shoulder blades are resting flat into the earth. Palms are face up. That just helps to really open the chest a little bit more. And here in Shavasana, there's no more ujjayi. This is time to let go. Time to say thank you for your practice. Time to let the practice settle into your muscles and your bones, your organs, right? The strength and the flexibility, all the breath. And you're really transforming your body. You're really changing your brain through the practice. You're always welcome to stay in Shavasana for anywhere from 5 to 60 minutes. In Shavasana, you're not exactly sleeping. You're not exactly awake. Very conscious and relaxed. So thank you so much for joining us today. Wish you best of luck in breathing and advancing in your yoga practice and really taking it off your mat into your heart, into the world. Please check us out again, youtube.com/Heart Alchemy Yoga. Please subscribe to us. We'll see you soon. Thanks.